Hello and welcome to today's devotional. It's good to turn to the Word of the Lord. It's good time right now. The sun is shining again today. I love spring. I love the warming up and all the life coming to the trees. It's awesome. It's neat that God made the world to go through these cycles. I think it's really cool. Anyways, that's the kind of place it is here today. So if you see the sunlight shining in and me looking at that window, um, yeah, drawn to it. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day wherever you are, whatever day you happen to be watching this. At any rate, we're going to look here today at Proverbs chapter 8, verse 29, and we've been working our way through this book of the Bible, the book of wisdom, Proverbs. And here in chapter 8, we've been hearing wisdom speak to us, the personification of wisdom speaking to us as a woman calling out to you and saying, come and know me, have a relationship with me, understand me. And so she's going through all these explanations about how that's good and how that God used wisdom in the creation of everything. And so these last number of verses, we've just been looking at different parts of creation, the created order, and how God used order to make the world, and so that wisdom can be applied to the universe and all that we see and know. We can apply wisdom to it because of the orderliness with which God brought everything, the wisdom He used in the creation of our world, of our universe. So as we've been working down through these verses, we come to verse 29, and she says this. She says, when He set for the sea its boundary, so that the water would not transgress His command, when He marked out the foundations of the earth. And she's going to continue on. She's been saying, I was there, right? So when He set the sea its boundary, so that the water could not transgress His command, when He marked out the foundations of the earth, I was there, right? So this is the idea. And so just once again, from these different ideas I've been drawing on, and when I read this one, I thought about it. I kind of am drawn to this idea of the boundaries and the foundations of the earth, right? The boundaries of the oceans, that God, He didn't make a world where the water just, covers everything. There's a limit. There's dry land and there's ocean, and there's a boundary there that God says, this is where this is where you will be, and this is where the land will be. And He set those laws in place so that there's order in this world, that we can live on this world. On the foundations of the earth. It's sort of the same idea as like, here's the footprint of the earth, right? Here's your foundation. You're going to build on this. You're not going to build out there. You're going to build right here. And so He builds the world on these foundations. Now, it's sort of metaphorical in a sense, but He did this with the laws of nature. He created our world to have laws of nature. And the laws of nature are the boundaries of physical things and of energy and how the world works, and the foundations of things. It's the laws of nature show what can and cannot happen in our universe. That's the wisdom of order. Orderliness is wise, and because of orderliness, we can be wise. People in life who advocate for a chaotic existence, you're advocating for a foolish existence, right? An existence without order is one in which wisdom cannot occur. And so it's really important to understand and value orderliness. I'm not saying that we all have to be a particular form of orderliness, that we all have to wear the same uniform, but there is something about orderliness itself. And then, of course, in the laws of nature, the way God made the world and the universe and all that's in them, it conforms. It is within an orderly structure, and we should value that. It's because of this orderliness to the universe that science has been able to progress at all. Because if there wasn't orderliness, there would be no scientific method. You couldn't test a theory. You wouldn't even be able to form a valid theory, and you certainly couldn't test it to see how it would turn out, because there's no order. There's no consequence that you can expect, and so it just wouldn't be possible. When we think about the orderliness of the universe, and even the orderliness socially and between people, like there's an orderliness to how relationships are supposed to be. And God brings wisdom to our societies because of the order we're supposed to have as intelligent, sentient beings that God made. And so in that order, there should be things like boundaries, right? The boundary of the sea, the boundaries of life. That so often we want to transgress. We want to find ways around boundaries. We want to find ways to progress. We think that it's progress to be pushing a boundary all the time. And I would argue that it's not, and that sometimes it's great to push a boundary. It's cool that we left the planet and got up into space and saw what's up there. That's cool. But there's a lot of boundaries that really shouldn't be transgressed, and certainly social boundaries that should never be transgressed. But we often push against the boundaries. But the boundaries are really good things. Without boundaries, think about it. If there was no boundaries in nature, there would be no ocean to look at. The beauty of the ocean. Think about the beauty of the ocean, all the life that's within the boundaries of the ocean, and how amazing that is. But if there was no boundaries, there would be no ocean. There would be no sky. There would be no things at all. It's because of boundaries that things can be. If it wasn't for boundaries, then it would just be the chaos of the one thing. The universe is chaos and nothing else, nothing within it. Boundaries help us know that something is a thing, and they're really awesome. Without boundaries, there would be no wisdom to have. There would be no progress to be able to work toward. Boundaries are what makes us, not something else. It's what makes us not something else. It's what makes me me and not you. That's the importance of boundaries. And so then also the value of order is the predictability. Right? Predictability is a really important thing. Really important thing. Without predictability, we would have no security, no growth, no action we could take, because nothing we do would make sense. There'd be no wisdom to be had without predictability. And we wouldn't know how to do anything, how to feed ourselves, because this time this worked and this time it didn't work, and this time this worked and this time it didn't work. I can't predict what will help me live and what will kill me. Predictability is extremely important, and we never talk about it, but it's really important in the physical world, but also between us. Is one of the great values in the social world of what we used to call etiquette. The ability that you kind of had a sense of, I know what someone else will do in this situation because we have an etiquette between us. We have a predictability between us. We know how to behave in this situation or that situation. And once again, in our world, we see the folly of trying to destroy all etiquette and destroy all norms, all social norms, and what to expect of one another. We want to destroy predictability. We want to destroy boundaries. Well, that's chaos. And in the end, it's so foolish, and it makes a world you can't live in. But wisdom is calling and saying, listen, that God made the world with these things, and they're really good things. And because of these things, wisdom can exist. Wisdom actually loves boundaries, and wisdom loves predictability, because from those things you can make sense of the world and then grow. And yes, sometimes transgress your boundaries in a good way. And yes, sometimes be unpredictable in a good way, but all within the framework of boundary and predictability. You might say, well, what about freedom? Freedom's great, but you don't have true freedom without predictability. You don't, because if you don't know what your actions will do, then you're not really free. You're just random. You need it, right? And well, what about discovery? Well, discovery is great, but once again, without a boundary, what is there to discover? There's nothing to discover on the other side. And so, freedom and discovery are awesome, but they're really only possible because of boundaries and predictability, and the things that He put into our world, into our universe, and is supposed to be in our society. So when we read the book of Proverbs and we learn about wisdom, one of the things we can know is that because of the laws of nature, the boundaries and foundations, the boundaries and predictability of nature, because of the laws of morality, we can take forward action. We can be wise rather than fools. Because of the laws of beauty, even, we can have a sense of what is good and what is not good, and thus grow in wisdom. And if we reject the boundaries and the predictabilities, then then we will fall into foolishness and chaos, and it really won't do anything good for us at all. Anyway, it's a little bit of my thoughts today from Proverbs chapter 8, verse 29. I hope that's useful to you in your own devotional work and as you're studying the scriptures and learning wisdom. God bless you until our next time when we do verse 30. Have a great day. And if you have the sun I have, get out into it and enjoy it.